Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy, the Kryptonian Saiyan here, bringing you a review for One Piece, Chapter 76. Now, this chapter right here, I just want to start off by saying, Nami, I'm glad she didn't kill Usopp, but her actions just really touched me. And the amount of character development that she's getting is just flat out amazing. So one of the first things I noticed in this chapter was at the very beginning of it. After missing the tattoo, I've been paying attention to little small details with her, right? And just right here, she's got a black glove on, and there's more emphasis on it here. She's got the glove, and she's telling Luffy and the others to basically get lost. And later on in the chapter, Usopp says something that I have been thinking myself, that she's only telling these guys that because she's trying to protect them. She's telling them to get lost for their own good. And I really enjoyed that. But the other thing on it, it speaks to two things. It speaks to her selflessness, and it speaks to how much she cares about her crew and the crew that she's called friends. Because the thing about those bonds that you have is, if it's a true friend, you don't want them to suffer. If you look at them and you see that they're going through something, you want to help them. If you see them stumbling, you want to help them stand. If you see them struggling to get to whatever goal they have, you want to help them along the way. You want to be great with them. And when you just see Nami, Nami is taking on not just the entire weight of her village and all the hate of her village to free it, but she's also willingly taking on that anger and betrayal that would come from betraying Luffy and his crew. But she's also pushing them away in order to keep them safe. So she's got a whirlwind of emotions, and I hate using that cliche, but it's definitely true. She's got this whirlwind of emotions sweeping through her at this point, and I wouldn't be surprised if she just had a meltdown. And very briefly, we do see it in this chapter, because when she finally goes back to her sister's place, Nami goes straight to sleep. And if you'll look, that's her hand bandaged from when she stabbed herself to make it look like she cut Usopp and killed him in order to fool Arlong. Because Arlong would have killed Usopp if she didn't. And then she would have further compromised herself. And there's a good chance she wouldn't be able to free her village. And right there, she ends up going to sleep. And the reason why I thought that that was key is people deal with trauma in different ways. Some people, they become emotional eaters. With someone like Nami, who keeps everything bottled in and shows different sides of themselves to people and puts up all these different walls, it's emotionally draining. And for her, I'm willing to bet sleep is the only place that she's able to escape. And just to see her go to sleep, and right here, it almost looks like she's at peace. And I thought that right there was key, because I have not seen her face look that relaxed before. I've seen her look happy. I've seen her mischievous. I've seen her angry. I've seen her crying. I've never seen her look at peace like that. And I just think that that's huge, man, because if that's the case, instead of having her do just this emotional breakdown, which I still think is coming, but instead of having her breakdown in tears and all that, what Oda decided to do is have her sleep. And it breaks away the cliche that, women don't handle stressful situations. And so in this case, we're seeing a very strong female character being written. And just how Nami's being written, I'm doing Fairy Tail alongside with One Piece right now. And I'm at the Tower of Heaven arc in Fairy Tail, and Urza is showing some of the same qualities that Nami's having. And so just to read these two side by side is really amazing. And I think it really speaks to just the bonds that she's been able to establish with Luffy and the others. Because Luffy had every reason, with an eyewitness and Nami sitting there saying, yeah, Usopp's sleeping with the fishes, get the fuck out of here. You know, like, that's some shit my ex-girlfriend used to do. Whenever she would get really mad at me, she would try and push me away. But that was also her way of saying, I need you to comfort me. And I'm getting the same vibes off of Nami. I think Nami wants them to leave, but at the same time, she appreciates that they're still there. And Luffy, in his own crazy, fucked up way, decides to show how much he cares about Nami and how he's not going to give up on her. He decides to just take a fucking nap. And right there, when I read that, I was just like, all right, Luffy knows that Arlong is looking for them and that his first mate Zoro is the reason why. But Luffy's like, I'm just going to go to sleep. This shit's boring me. Like, you didn't really kill Usopp. I don't believe that shit. And then Usopp shows up later after he wakes up from his nap. So it's just confirmed for him. But I think if that's the case, Luffy, as big of an idiot as he is, I don't think it's so much that he's trusting. I think that during the time he's been around Nami, I think he's got a pretty good grasp on reading her body language. And what I've told some of you guys in other videos is when you're dealing with women, one thing you need to do, and part of my 13% of female subscribers, if you want to go ahead and comment on this, feel free to go right ahead. But with women, you have to pay attention to body language, because they'll say one thing and the body language will say another. If you're trying to understand women, body language is key. And speaking of understanding women, don't do what the fuck Sanji's doing. Sanji's coming on mad strong right now. He's looking real thirsty, and even Zoro kind of calls him out on it. He says, look, man, what you have to understand is you don't really know Nami, and you being as lovesick as you are, you're going to make things more complicated. Just butt the fuck out. And right there, I could see why Zoro's first mate, because that is a leadership call right there. You don't need emotions being thrown in, new emotions, particularly when there's no proof that Sanji's actually in love with Nami. You don't need that thrown in when this is already an emotional state. You have to try and contain things as much as possible. And so just seeing Zoro make that call and Luffy letting him make that call, I think it says a lot. I really thought, you know, Nami would be the one that brought order to Luffy and his crew, but it's looking like it's going to be Zoro. And if that's the case, your first mate is supposed to be your capo. He's supposed to be every bit as good of a leader as the main person. And it looks like Luffy's going to be the straw, not the straw, the glue that keeps everybody together. But Zoro's going to be the one that keeps things in check. And if that's the case, I'm really, really loving just this little bit of development and just to see Zoro kind of grow there. But the chapter ends off with Nami's sister saying, I'll tell you guys the truth behind Nami, but after I tell you, you have to leave. And I think that she's doing that because she knows how much Luffy and his crew means to Nami. And she doesn't want to see her little sister go through any more heartbreak. So, very touching chapter, man. My chapter question for you guys is going to be this. What did you think about these two things? Nami's sister telling Luffy and the others to leave. And this is the second part to that. So this isn't my second question. But the second part to that is Zoro's former shipmates, you know, Johnny, they left. They abandoned them. They turned their back, whereas Luffy and his guys didn't turn their back on Nami. And the other thing, my other question is, what did you think about Nami's decision to handle things the way she did? And did you think that she was going to be going for some type of emotional mental breakdown in the coming chapters? But that's it for this review, guys. If you liked anything I had to say, as always, comment, rate, subscribe, share. I'll greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching Kryptonian Say.